report, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show. Padres Mariners, September 13th, 2022. Padres start off their road trip in Seattle, and they go to Arizona. Tonight, 6:40 is the first pitch. It'll be Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres against Logan Gilbert. Thanks for being with me. Padres had the off day yesterday. I saw that some of them went to the Seahawks-Broncos game, which was really entertaining, to say the least. I think Chris Matt was there. I know he's not on the active roster, but he's probably on the taxi squad. That's what I would guess. But Soto was there with Musgrove. Those were two I saw there. I think Steven Wilson was there rooting for the Broncos. So that's what they did, at least on their off night. And they're back at it tonight. Padres going for their 78th win of the season, and the Mariners are trying to get their 80th win of the season. The Mariners are in a playoff spot. Padres are in a playoff spot. So this should be a pretty nice series. Yu Darvish, we'll get right to the pitching matchups. Darvish, his last time out was against Arizona, went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. He probably didn't want to walk as many as he did. He walked 3, struck out 6. He gave up too many home runs, probably for his liking. Padres did win that game 6-3, though. So, the win is a win. Start before that, 7 innings, no runs. Start before that, 7 innings, 3 runs. Start before that, 8 1/3, 3 runs. So he's had 4 straight quality starts dating back to August 18th. August 13th, he went 6 innings, but he allowed 4 runs, so it wasn't a quality start. But he's getting the innings definitely in. And right now, I would say he is the Padres' ace. And hopefully he can continue pitching like the Padres' ace tonight in Seattle. Logan Gilbert, his last time out, pitched really well against the White Sox. Didn't walk anyone, struck out 9, 6 innings, shutout. 6 innings, no runs. Start before that, same thing, 6 innings, no runs. Only walked 1 guy. In his last 2 starts, Detroit and the White Sox, that's not the Padres. I know the Padres lineup, they've been struggling pretty much since Soto and Drury and Bell got here, like as a whole collectively. There's been spurts where they've been doing good, swept the Giants, won the Kansas City series and all that. But largely, they've been struggling, but they're still more talented than the Tigers and the White Sox. But Gilbert's last 2 starts combined 12 innings, no runs, just 1 walk, 18 strikeouts. Pretty dang good, if you ask me. The starts before that, 6 1/3, 2 earned runs, 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. So his last 5 starts have been quality starts dating back to August 14th. So we got a really good pitching matchup, I think, going into tonight's game. Seattle, I don't think that's really known as like a hitter's park. Definitely not like Yankee Stadium or Cincinnati or anything like that. So should get a good pitching matchup. I know Verlander pitched there really good earlier in the year. There's been some good pitching performances there this season. So maybe it's a low-scoring game and it comes down to the bullpens, and that leads us perfectly into the Padres bullpen situation today. Not a whole lot to talk about because they had the off day yesterday. When was that? On Sunday against the Dodgers, you had Garcia pitch, Hill, Stammen absolutely sucked. First pitch, grand slam. Suarez, 11 pitches. Stammen, I hope he's not pitching in any important situation. But Hader's the closer now. It definitely feels like. And then Martinez probably fills either that 8th inning role or the highest leverage role in the game after the starter comes out and before it goes to Hader. That's what I would think. But Garcia, Suarez, Morejon, Wilson, who's allowed 1 run in like a month or something, uh, they're all available. So that's very good news for the Padres bullpen. Everyone is rested. So that's good for the bullpen. I'll get to your chat. Don't worry. What's up, Irie? Thinks a sweep should happen. Okay. It is only 2 games, so that's not going way out there. But Seattle does have a good lineup coming. Not lineup like offensively. They do have one, but the pitcher is scheduled. The starting pitcher is scheduled for today and tomorrow. Gilbert obviously went through his numbers, and then I believe it's Luis Castillo tomorrow. So it's going to be tough for the Padres to, you would think, to score some runs off of those starters. David thinks Soto should lead off and Manny should hit second. I look, Manny's been carrying this offense. He's the 3 hitter. He's very comfortable in the 3 spot. I think you want Soto hitting second. Usually your best hitter's hitting second. I know you could say that Soto's not the Padres' best hitter right now, but when guys are at their best, Juan Soto's the Padres' best hitter. Him and Manny are probably pretty close, but Soto's one of the best hitters ever when he's on. I like them still hitting 2, 3, and then having Bell hit fourth. He's been having better at bats as of late. I'd like to see a little more production out of Profar and Kim. Episode 230 was out today, talking about how it's not just up to Juan Soto to turn this thing around. That there has to be more guys on offense the rest of this month to start getting on base more, start hitting better than they have to start this month. I know you faced the Dodgers 6 times, but you got to start hitting better. You got to get on base more. Ha-Seong Kim out of the leadoff spot. I think he's hitting under 160 or something so far this month. I know batting average it's not everything, but you still want it to be better than that, right? Yeah, getting back to David's question or comment, I think Soto and Manny 2, 3. I like them there. And Soto's more of the on-base guy anyway, like, that's what he's known for, and you wanna have Soto on base before Manny comes up, so maybe you have I don't even think they'd do this, but if you're going to make a change, it would be, like, Soto leading off and Manny hitting second instead of flipping the guys. I think the best combination there with Manny and Soto is for Soto to hit in front of Manny. Gil asks, "Who's Andres Munoz?" Yeah, if this is a real question, he was traded. He used to be a Padre reliever. I'm sure it's not. Um, no, he's according to Corey Brock, he's been pitching really, really well for the Mariners. He was traded in that Nola deal that sent Ty France also to the Mariners, and I think he was an All-Star this year. So typical Padres trade. Yeah, his WAR's 1.1 out of the bullpen. He has an ERA under 2.7, 88 strikeouts. His WHIP is under 1 this year. So yeah, he's got 57 games. So of course, when he comes to the Mariners, he stays healthy. I know he didn't really pitch in 2021, but that was because I believe Tommy John surgery is what he had. But yeah, that's another guy. That trade has not worked out well for the Padres. I mean, you traded Ty France, you traded who would have been great at first base before Hosmer was dealt during that time. Cheap contract as well, can play multiple positions, all that. You traded him, traded Taylor Trammell, who you could have used in another deal. Obviously, traded Munoz, traded Terrens, who's actually, I think last year he played well. I don't know about this year. I think he's been dealing with some injuries. But yeah, and Padres in return, they got Dan Altavilla, who did nothing with the Padres. They got Austin Adams, who is, I would think, out for this season. I'm sure some of you forgot about Austin Adams. Set a hit by pitch record last year out of the bullpen. And then Nola, obviously, not really any power, and he hasn't hit as good for average as he did in Seattle. So, yeah, probably if they wanted a do-over on a trade, it'd probably be that one of them. Cam Gallagher mural. Gil says. Yeah. Padres traded for the guy, and then they DFA'd him without bringing him up. Traded for him before the trade deadline, and some people thought he would have been called up before Campy was called up, but they called up Campy, and they were like, "No, we're good. See you, Cam. Thanks for filling a spot in El Paso for a few weeks." Mills says move Soto to the 5 spot. I disagree with that. I mean, you want Soto having the most at bats possible, even if he's scuffling. Like it's Juan Soto, he's still getting on base. Like you want that guy hitting in the first inning and hitting as often as possible. Same thing with Manny Irie. I disagree with that. I think he needs to be hitting 3 or 2. I would say 3 still. Soto 2, Manny 3. But yeah, first inning is where they need to be. All right, getting to the Padres lineup today. Profar's leading off. He's in left field. Soto isn't right. Manny's at third. Bell's DHing. Crony's hitting fifth at second base. Remember, no Brandon Drury again. Padres were expecting him. I think that's what Bomel said. They were expecting him to come back during this Seattle series, but now it seems like he's going to come back for the Arizona series. So I would not hold my hope up at all. Keep my hopes up for Drury to come back at all in this series. It would seem like the Arizona series. Don't know if it would be the start of the Arizona series on Thursday, or it would be Saturday or Sunday or what. Because you never know with that head, the head injury, concussion, IL. You don't want to, force him to go play when he's not ready. So we'll see. You obviously just want him to be healthy. Kim's at short. He's hitting sixth. Myers is at first again. He's been at first for a while, pretty much since Drury got hurt. I like it. I think he's comfortable at first. Grisham's in center. He's batting eighth with a righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. And then Nola is going to be catching for you, Darvish. Yeah, not expecting really anything from Nola. He's a 9-hitter. Doesn't have really power. 3 home runs this year. That's that. I'm fine with the lineup today. Gilbert's a righty, so you got left, right, left, right, left, right. So pretty balanced. And then Seattle, Julio Rodriguez, probably the front runner for the American League Rookie of the Year. He's leading off in center. Ty France is at first. Eugenio Suarez, he had a walk-off the other day after Rodriguez tied the game. So he is going to be batting third at third base. Carlos Santana, former Indian. Now it's the Guardians. He is DHing, batting fourth. Adam Frazier, that's another former Padre. That deal, I don't know if that's worked out great for Mariners fans. They probably know more than I do about how Adam Frazier has performed this year. I'm looking at his numbers, 242 average. He was hitting over 300 last year at one point. So seems like that's not really working out for them. Padres got Corey Rozier, who they traded to the Red Sox, I believe, in that Hosmer trade before the trade deadline. They got him in return and Ray Kerr. Ray Kerr's been up a little bit, kind of as that last reliever. Now he's back, I believe, in El Paso. So I guess Frazier's impacting them at the big league level. We'll see what Ray Kerr is with the Padres when he, consistently is up at the big league level. Cal Raleigh is catching. Jesse Winker's in left, coming off that All-Star year last year. He has had some injuries, I think. And you would think he'd be at the top of the order, but when you have Julio Rodriguez and Ty France and Eugenio Suarez hitting well, all have at least 18 home runs this year. Kind of hard to be up there in the top of the order. Sam Haggerty's in right field. And J.P. Crawford is at shortstop, the former Philly. They've got a pretty darn good lineup, and they've got a pretty darn good starting pitcher tonight. He could match, I think. He can match you, Darvish. His ERA this year is 3.23. Darvish is 3.31. Darvish has 168 strikeouts. Gilbert has 151. Almost identical records. I mean, it's a pretty darn good comparison, a pretty even, it would seem like, pitching matchup tonight. So again, 6:40 is the first pitch. We already went over the bullpen situation, which is not really a whole lot to talk about because there was the off day yesterday. I'm just checking Twitter to see if there's any updates, if Chris Mack gets activated or whatnot. because he was obviously at the Seahawks game yesterday, so he's probably just on the taxi squad. Maybe they activate him when I'm done. Who knows? My Padre pick today is going to be Jerks and Profar. On Sunday, it was Manny. He didn't get a hit. I'm 88-47, I believe, so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. I might be actually 88-48. I don't think I updated that, so there's that. Profar tonight, small sample size off of Logan Gilbert. I wasn't really focused on that. Hitting at the top of the order, I want my guy to get the most chances possible, obviously. Left versus right, at least to start off the night. Profar's played in Seattle a lot with the A's, with Texas, so I would think he's comfortable with that ballpark and the batter's eyes. So that's who I'm going to go with. All right, I'm going to finish this off with comments, questions. If you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat button. And on regular videos, you can use the super thanks button. If you want to make sure I get to your question or whatever, the super chat button helps because it highlights it for me. Because there are sometimes a lot of comments, and sometimes I don't catch ones. Randy asked, what would you like to see for a catching situation next year? An upgrade? I mean, eventually you'd like to have Campy take over the role. I don't know the catchers that are going to be available come this offseason, so that's kind of hard of a question. That's kind of a hard question to answer right now. Not a huge fan of Nola. I like having Alfaro, the power potential, but he does strike out a lot, or at least he has, it seems like, in the recently. He has been clutch with the walk-offs. I want a catcher that can throw some guys out. Bigger bases next year, limiting pickoff moves, so the base runner does have some leverage there. They have the advantage. Because once the pitcher gets to 2 pickoffs next year, they can pick over, but they have to get him at 3 on the third one, or else it's a balk, I think. So most starting pitchers are probably not going to want to pick off the third time. So if they pick off 2, that guy's going to steal second. So someone that can throw guys out, and maybe you can work on that with Alfaro and Camposano, but Nola, it just feels like he doesn't have anything on those balls. Irie would go in the lineup, back to that lineup conversation. Profar or Kim leading off, which is what they've been doing. Jake hitting second, Soto 3, Manny 4. Again, I guess you could say that, sure, but I want the Padres' 2 best hitters, Soto and Manny. I want them up in the first inning. And when Jake's rolling and he's hitting, 5th or 6th, like that makes the lineup even more deeper, right? To have him hit 5th or 6th, you think you got through it with Manny and Soto, or Manny and Soto are on, Soto or Manny. Bell, Drury when he comes back, and now you have to deal with Cronenworth if he's hot. I like that. So I think if Soto or Manny have an off day, I mean, they should still be in the lineup DHing because the Padres just need to get in the postseason. But I don't think hitting Jake second is the worst thing. But I still go back to the point of having Soto and Manny hit in that first inning and hit as many times as they possibly can. Yeah, I agree with this one, Jeffrey. I think Soto and Manny are in the right spot. We just need more production than just Manny. That was my point earlier today on episode 230. So you can check that out on this YouTube channel or on the podcast platforms. It's like 20 minutes, I think, before the Padres take on the Mariners tonight. Good question here, JT Snod. Why not start Campy? What do we have to lose? Yeah, I think their explanation is probably he's a young player. We don't want to have him catch every day in the big leagues. Don't know if he's ready for that yet. Or maybe they want him to just focus on specific pitchers. I thought that he should have probably caught for Musgrove over the weekend on Sunday, but they had, I think, Nola catching him. So, Musgrove, he pitched well that Wednesday game against the Giants with Campy behind the dish, So I thought you have Campy focus on catching for Musgrove, but I don't know what they're doing there. I agree. If, with the point of starting Campy more often. But I don't know if they think that he's not ready for catching every day at the big league level. He's not maybe some pitchers aren't comfortable. I don't think it would be a good idea for Darvish to be pitching to Campusano, just to being honest, because of how many pitches and all that uh, that Darvish has. But a couple other guys, like once Manaea comes back, if they want to have him throw to Campy, if while Manaea is not pitching right now, Campy and Manaea are talking to each other every day and becoming really comfortable with each other. Maybe they're doing that. I don't know. I don't think they have a whole lot to lose because they're not getting a whole lot of offensive production from Nola. Yeah, Jeffrey, you're right. Isn't Contreras available? In the offseason, he might be, yeah. But I don't know how big his market's going to be. It does feel like the Cubs would try to bring him back since they didn't trade him. You thought that they were going to trade him before the trade deadline, but they didn't do that. They were probably asking for too much. Now that they have him, you would think that they'd be like, okay, well, we have him still. Let's give him an offer. And Contreras stays there. I don't know. The Cubs, what they're doing is kind of weird. Like signing Stroman when they traded Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez, it was like, okay, what are they actually doing here? You know, you're just being in the middle of the pack. That's not a place where you really want to be. So I don't know. The Cubs they're a team to watch in the offseason. Jeffrey asked, when Drury comes back, is Campy going back to AAA, or are we going to carry 3 catchers? Yeah, that's a good question. When Drury comes back, they'd probably send Eggy Rosario down because infielder for an infielder. That's what I would think. I think they'd carry 3 catchers, use one of those 2 extra spots for Campy because I think they do want him up here. So I would think Eggy Rosario, he's not really getting any at-bats. Got his first major league hit on Sunday. Congrats to him. But, yeah, I think it would be Eggy that would go down. All right, I think that's going to do it. Darvish against Gilbert tonight. Looks like a good pitching matchup. Going to be a fun one in Seattle. Don't know how many people are going to show up to the game after being – they probably all have their voices lost after last night being at that Seahawks game. But we'll see. 640, Valley Sports San Diego, 97.3 The Fan. I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter as always. And I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Go Pods.